Hey YouTube, this is Southern Prepper 1, and it is exactly 2:29 a.m. on the East Coast. What am I doing outside? Well, I did need to go check the animals. Just making a little check. When you get old like me, sometimes you wake up at crazy hours. Well, I wake up at crazy hours all the time. That really stems from all my life working hard, and then military, just a crazy schedule. But what am I doing out here? Well, the practical thing, I'm checking the animals. If this was a worst case event, do you have a procedure in your head that you've started to work on? And your procedure will be based on where you live. If you live in the city, in the suburbs, in the country, because in the city, you might not have any, outbuildings to worry about. It's just your house. I have outbuildings here, and my son lives right here next to me. So it doesn't matter what the emergency is. I would be leaving my house to go make sure my two grandbabies are okay. There's nothing that would physically stop me. It would have to physically stop me. Now, I'm not saying in a worst case event you need to leave your house to go check on it, and especially now, if something happens outside in your neighborhood, the wise thing might be 911. But I'll be honest with you, if I called 911 right now, I dialed 911, it would take forever for my county sheriff's deputy to get here. It could easily be 20-25 minutes, easy. And that's just because there's a huge area that they cover up here, and I seldom ever see a deputy sheriff. Best chance for me to see a deputy sheriff is to go to our local cafe a few miles from here, and I might bump into him there. But other than that, you're not going to see him. So why am I out here? I just want you to see and start mentally preparing yourself. What if there's no 911? There is no help coming other than what I have in friends. If it is an SHTF event, it's probably not, you might not have the phone. So if you don't have the phone, you have a means to communicate with your buddy. He might have a means to communicate with you. You have the radio. You both have radios, but guess what? At 2:30 in the morning, is his radio going to be on? Is he going to be monitoring his radio? Probably not. Especially if he's a lone person or a lone family or just a couple. Even if he's monitoring and you need immediate assistance and he's home with his wife and two kids, do you think he's going to just run and come help you, knowing that it might put his whole family at risk? So I'm just trying to get you some things to think about. It's dark out here. There's some solar lights at the top of the driveway, and I did leave the kitchen light on. See that? There is a few stars in the sky. You can see that little twinkle. It's dark. So let's cover some things that, Saturday, 2 days ago, literally 2 days ago, in this spot, turn that light on, there's my cat. In this spot, exactly right here, not 50 feet from the front door, I killed a nice sized copperhead. It was in the evening, getting dusk, very dark. I could barely see it. I didn't have a flashlight. I killed a big old copperhead right here. The reason I was here is because I was coming up here to open the gate for my family so they could come in. Luckily, I saw it before my little guys saw it. So, there's so many threats out there. You might live in the city, you don't have to worry about a snake. You probably got to worry about something else, some two-legged snake that's trying to get you. So, even just moving around in the dark without using a flashlight is risky where I live. There's rattlesnakes, there's copperheads. There's not a lot. I don't want you to think, oh, there's tons. There's not. I might see 1 or 2 copperheads a year on my property now because I'm, as you clean up your property and get rid of things, undergrowth, it lessens the chances of running into a snake, or it gives you an increased chance of seeing the snake. And any copperhead or rattlesnake is eliminated off my property. I know you snake lovers are going crazy, but what am I going to do with it? It can't stay here, and I can't carry it over to my neighbor's property. That'd be criminal, putting a poisonous snake on his property. I have given away to a few people that wanted the rattlesnakes, which is insanity, but this isn't a snake video. This is, are you mentally prepared to respond to your neighbor? Are you mentally prepared to defend your home? Now granted, yes, call 911, but it might come a point where you cannot call 911. So do you have some things ready to go? Your buddy might call you, your best buddy across the street, and say, hey, I got a security problem. And you say, okay, no problem, hold on, let me get my clothes on. Oh, what's the combination of the gun safe? Open the gun safe, get your stuff. Oh, where's my battle belt? I gotta look cool when I run over there. And 9 minutes later, you're ready to go help your neighbor. By then, he's probably dead, or the problem has escalated to, he probably doesn't need you. So are you mentally prepared? Do you have what you need? It doesn't have to be fancy. It can be a hunting 12 gauge pump shotgun with a small bag of shells in it. Can you get to it quickly? If you woke up right now, think where you are right now when you watch this video. Right now it's about 2:32 a.m. Are you ready to go if there was a loud smash on your door and someone was trying to break in? Do a test. Lay in your bed. Jump up. Go get your gun. Don't shoot yourself. Don't shoot anyone else in the rush of doing this. Do it with an unloaded firearm. Unload your weapon before you do it. How long would it take you? Some of you, it probably takes 10 minutes just to wake up and get the sleepy seeds out of your eyes. This is going to become normal for you to be up all hours of the day in an SHTF event. Even if you live in the city or the suburbs, you got to watch out for your property. You got to protect yourself in a worst case event. Some of you are alone. Some of you only have 1 or 2 people in your house. It's going to be very difficult for you to maintain a proper level of security in a worst case event. And it really, now it doesn't have to be a worst case event. People are stealing gas out of vehicles. They're stealing catalytic converters. They're stealing everything they can get their hands on. So are you adjusting your lifestyle or your security posture to deal with this? I hope you are. The big thing is, are you mentally thinking, hey, what do I need to do to protect my property in SHTF? You can probably hear I'm walking on gravel. Now granted, this is loose gravel, this is the new gravel. As gravel gets pushed down, it doesn't become as crunchy. But have you even thought about that? Yeah, it's great because I can hear people walking up on me. You'd have to go very slow not to crunch gravel in this loose condition. But also, it's giving me away after I walk out my house and I get on my driveway. You hear that crunch, crunch, crunch. Have you thought about that? So I urge you, you need to do some dry runs. Get up in the middle of the night. Especially old people when they have to go to the restaurant. Hey, let's say, hey, let me just go out and do a practice walk around my property. Maybe I'll learn something. The practice walkabout is also very useful because it's going to show you and you memorize where to walk when you get to something. Oh yeah, there's something here. I got to move over there. I got to step over this log. This grassy area around the side of my house is really slippery at 3 in the morning because of the dew. I didn't think about that. So I got to be careful. You need to practice, practice, practice this. It doesn't cost you anything to practice, really. We're not shooting rounds, we're not doing anything. We're outside, we're checking our perimeter. Can you do it without a flashlight? For me, I can do it with nods because I'm a big fan of night vision. If you don't have night vision, you probably won't survive the worst SHTF event. Sorry to say that, I will say that. I've used them for years and years and years in the military. I've seen the way you will survive or have a better chance of surviving with night vision. Granted, you all can't have night vision. I understand that because it's expensive. And if you're a 74-year-old woman, you might not want them. If you're a 74-year-old woman and you have a bank account that's excessive, you might want to buy some night vision. Because right now, as you can clearly see, it's dark. Putting night vision to my eyes, I can see everything in my front yard. You couldn't hide from me unless you're physically behind an object where I can't see through it. So, I'm going to go finish checking on the critters, making sure everybody's okay, because in a worst case event, that's my life, that's my food for my family. I can't afford for a coyote to try to get into my cages. You know, now it'd be devastating to us emotionally because the kids would be very sad if they lost some of their favorite chickens. In a grid down situation, that's my life. That's what's going to feed my family after I use my stockpile of food. So, are you out there practicing? This doesn't cost me nothing. I'm going to continue checking, and then I'm going to go back in the house and go back to bed. Are you a person that can do that? Can you be totally asleep? Can you be totally awake and then say, oh, let me grab some more shut-eye? If you've ever been in the military, especially in the combat arms side, you know how to do that, because that's what you do all the time. Practice securing your house. It doesn't cost you anything at 2:30 in the morning to do practice runs. Thanks for watching.